Hey everybody, Jeff King here.
Hi, Megan.
And we are back again with another initial impressions video that for something that is actually on Kickstarter right now and has maybe halfway through the campaign, so definitely go check it out if this looks interesting to you. But it is Latice. And Latice is a 2 to 4 player game. It is in the casual, family-friendly style game. I believe they even listed as like 6 and up to play, which makes a lot of sense because I kind of think of it as Scrabble meets Quirkle with some special abilities and stuff mixed in there. So basically what you're trying to do is there's a bunch of these awesome tiles, and you'll see it getting played in the background, of various shapes and colors, and they will get evenly distributed between the players. And then the first player to get rid of all of their tiles on the board wins the game. So you have to match your tiles by either color or by the design, by the symbol. And if you have multiple tiles around where you want to lay it, you have to match everything by something. So, you know, if there's a blue flower and a red lizard, you can match the lizard, but you would still need the blue for the flower because that was blue. So you have to match either color or symbol, and it has to match all the way around wherever you place the tile. A couple other things with the game, depending on where you put the tile and how many tiles are surrounding it when you play it, you might get some things like these little half stones or these sunstones. Now these kind of come into play. You can have up to 3 sunstones. You can have as many half stones as you want as you play. But you can do things like turn in 2 half stones for an additional move, so to be able to play 1 more tile. Or you can turn in 1 sunstone for that same thing. The other thing is you can have and turn in 3 sunstones to buy back a wind tile, which we'll talk about here. Well, right now, let's talk about it. But the wind tile allows you to do basically shift any tile on the board 1 space, and it can basically break the rule so it doesn't have to match wherever it gets shifted to, and it allows you 1 additional move. So when these are played, they're discarded, then 3 sunstones allow you to buy a discarded wind tile to add to your rack. Again, yeah, it comes with these cool little racks, say Latice on them. Should point out that this is a prototype copy that we're working on, so the final production product will look a little bit different, a little higher quality, but I think for what they sent us, this is pretty good. So you keep going until somebody plays all their tiles, or if everybody passes so nobody can play anything, then the winner is whoever has the least amount of tiles left. So, what did you think of this one?
I really enjoyed this game. This is right up my alley. Yeah. I love the puzzle aspect of it. It's almost like dominoes, but and that's where I just really enjoyed the strategy of it. It's one of the games that when we ended, I'm like, okay, let's play again. Now I'm getting
now why was that?
Because I lost.
There you go.
But,
well, I mean, and it was a good game. But,
it was a good game.
But Megan's very competitive for a casual gamer.
It's true. Well, I'm learning the game. Now I figured it out. Now you get me at 100%. But I really enjoyed it. I like the colors. I like the motif design. I think it will help for a family style because it's very simple. I really enjoyed it. My only gripe, which you know, is that the random tile thing. I think everybody should have equal number of wind tiles in their pile. Yeah. Otherwise, I feel like it skews favor to somebody who randomly gets more wind tiles. I'm just saying, could be a reason why you won.
They could be bought. I told you several times you could buy them. So yeah, but that might be something either as a variant or a house rule, or just in the normal rules. And by what we got, it says to divide them equally. Once they're all face down, mixed up, divide them up equally. Everybody gets their own pool. The particular game that you're going to see in the video, I did have a lot more wind tiles than Megan did to start the game. They were in my reserve pile. So I was able to kind of shift and maybe get that extra move. That said, I mean, there are a lot of opportunities in this game to buy back those wind tiles. And a lot of those, I think Megan took the opportunity to do an additional move versus maybe buying back wind tiles. Again, learning game, but you could potentially take all of the wind tiles, divide them out evenly, and then divide the rest out evenly and mix them in that way. That would be a perfectly acceptable way to kind of look at this game. I agree with Megan that this was a lot of fun. Again, this is a casual, family-friendly style game, but it has some really nice strategy. And again, this is one of those games that introduces a couple new things into the genre to me, into that particular genre. So the fact that it's a kind of scramble and Quirkle a little bit combined with these elements of spending, gathering and spending stones and the wind tiles and being able to adjust things and knowing what you have to match. I think that is a really nice fit into this game, and it introduces just that little bit of meat that somebody that might not always lean towards a casual game but have casual gamers in their life. This is something that they could definitely play with those people and still kind of get something out of it. The other thing I'll mention is, not from the Scrabble version, but from the Quirkle side of things, this is very nice in the fact that it is language independent once you get past the rules. And the one thing, when I worked retail in the gaming area, in the game store, one of our selling points for Quirkle is we actually had a lady come in and say, you know what, I love Quirkle. And we used to be big Scrabble players, but I love Quirkle because me and my husband fight so much less now about whether this is a word or not. It's does it match or does it not match? This has that aspect as well. There's no argument whether or not you're matching red or matching a feather to a feather or red to red or that kind of thing. So it's language independent. You don't have the side dictionary to kind of look up things. You don't have that argument. So all of those things make this fit into its niche very nicely. And this, to me, is a solid game that I hope gets produced, because I think, at least in this family, it would go over very well, not only for Megan and I to play, but I think this is something I could almost see Megan kind of breaking out with some of her more casual or family when they're around, or when we have the nieces and nephews over, this is something we could break out. Very solid game in that aspect. Only thing, and again, this is a prototype copy, so I don't know what the final production copy. I'm not keen on the light blue and dark blue. Should have been a whole different color. And that's another thing. I mean, I haven't looked at this with any colorblind filters, but it is very color centric, and there's nothing to, the symbols are universal across all the colors, so there's nothing that's going to symbolize this is red. There's nothing that's going to symbolize this is blue. So there may be some issues with that. They did seem to kind of go with maybe lighter tones, and I don't know if that helps with some of the colorblind issues. Obviously, there's different styles of colorblindness, so I don't know. And usually, I don't know if I still have the colorblind filter on my phone. Sometimes I'll look at that, but that may be a little bit of an issue. You just have to check it out. Like I said, for myself personally, I didn't like, we had all these other colors, and then we had a blue and a light blue. So we had to take a moment when we first started playing to go, is this supposed to be the same blue, or is this actually a different color? And that would have been nice too. It's not in the rules. I mean, the rules that we got are like a 2-page sheet. That's how simple this is to learn and play. But they probably should just put a visual in here of what the different colors are, because first thing I do is go to the rule book, go, okay, what are the colors? That wasn't there, so we had to start flipping tiles and start over. Minor things at best. Again, what do you think of potentially playing this with like the nieces and nephews and stuff like that?
Absolutely. I'm already thinking, my one niece who's closer to 10, this would be right. She loves colors, but I think this would be right up her alley. And I think it's a good progression game from your easy basic, your Candylands, your memory games. I mean, but not quite to like your Monopolies, which, whatever.
Yeah.
But I think it's
cool.
just, it's sort of that, it's a nice game in between. But I think, like Jeff said, with the stones and the buying back and the wins, it adds those extra levels of strategy to keep it a good game for the non-casual gamer. Yeah, I could definitely pull this one out.
Yeah, so I think this one definitely, from the casual, family-friendly style perspective, up to somebody that's willing to play lighter games that have a strategic bent. And again, especially if you're in a family like ours, where you play a lot of heavier games, but every once in a while you want something that you can both play and both enjoy, this is a solid game in that aspect. I highly recommend it. I believe I'm going to say Megan probably highly recommends it as well. Again, any game that while we're trying to do a review and get you some initial impressions that Megan goes, all right, I want to play again regardless of the camera, that's a winner. You know, that's a good thing. So this, like I said, is on Kickstarter right now. It's called Latice. Go check it out. Obviously in the description on YouTube, or if you're checking this out on our page over at All Us Geeks, I'll have the link there. It is only going until October 2nd, 2015, and it is roughly, I think, about 50% funded, so it still needs some people to look at it. It needs some love, and I am very impressed with this game. I wasn't sure what to think when it was going to first get sent to me, but this is a solid game for our house, so we highly recommend that you go check it out, and we would love to see this game get made. All right, there you go. That is our initial impressions of Latice. Please go check it out. At the very least, just go check out the page, see if it's something you might be interested in, because like I said, they're about 50% there, and they're only going until October 2nd, 2015. All right, thanks a lot, everybody. Thank you for hanging out with us, and of course, we collectively, myself and Megan, will be back soon with more videos. Thanks a lot, everybody.
Bye.